Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to the start of a brand new Let's Play for Victoria 3. Now, I have been wanting to start a new Let's Play for Vicky 3 for some time now. The big 1.5 patch and how transformative it was had me very excited. But the problem is there's still a couple little bit tiny outstanding issues here and there with the patch. I'm currently on 1.59. And even then, that was just a little hot fix that, in fact, they disabled, I think, like convoy rating. And they're like, oh, we're going to bring it back. So we're still clearly kind of waiting for a couple more tweaks here and there with the 1.5 patch. A lot of it seems to revolve around combat, though. And I didn't want to keep waiting and delaying the start of a Vicky 3 Let's Play. So what I decided to do is to start recording this run and then maybe just do like 1 or 2 episodes as sort of an intro, sort of teaser to show that, like, yes, we're going to be out there with this series. Then we may have to like space some things out a little bit before we get into any heavy combat. Just until, because I think they're talking about doing some rebalance tweaks here and there and some bug fixes as well. And it would be not great if we were experiencing a lot of that on our run. So that's currently the plan. As a result, and I'm just telling you this because the schedule might be a little bit different with this series. There might be a bit of pause at the start. Of course, if you're watching this later on, then maybe you've got a complete playlist all ready to watch for you and you won't have any delays whatsoever. But I want to put that out there for anyone who's watching it sort of kind of in real time. Anywho, with that being said, we're going to start a new game. And as you might be able to tell over here, I've been playing as Mexico. Now, when I did my preview video, my sponsored preview video for 1.5, I talked about wanting to play Canada again. And I do want to play Canada again because we played it in the pre-release patch. I had great fun with it. And even then I said right away, I'm going to want to do this again. And I still want to do this again. I dabbled a little bit with it, and I still think Canada's a great nation to play, but I don't think it's that significantly different right now from our pre-release playthrough. I mean, some of the mechanics are different, but I think overall the flow of the game would feel kind of samey. And as a result, it might not make the greatest Let's Play currently right now. I am expecting, though, at some point, because I think this kind of makes sense. I don't have any insider knowledge, but I think it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't surprise me if at some point we see some sort of expansion focused on maybe Great Britain, maybe focused on the Commonwealth, maybe focused on puppets and dominions and all those sorts of mechanics, because I think it's a natural area to expand on. And so maybe there'll be a time where there'll be an absolute sweet spot to return to Canada because there'll be some content to kind of mix it up. I've probably played 3 or 4 games as Canada at this point because I think it's great fun. It's kind of interesting to puzzle out. But just from a video content point of view, I wasn't sure if there was going to be enough freshness. So I've decided instead to play as Mexico. Now, I've always heard that Mexico is actually a pretty fun run. And I think in 1.5, it may have gotten even more interesting. Actually, maybe with one of the earlier patches, the one that changed how the arable land might be handled, I think may have done some great things for Mexico at the time. I've got Mexico on the brain because I recently took a trip there, like my first proper vacation in ages, which was great fun. And so I thought it would be a natural pick over here. We've got what is going to be a fairly developing country at this point over here. Lots of kind of a blank slate that we can take at lots of different directions. And we do have a fairly large threat. At some point, the good old US of A over here is going to go all manifest destiny on our butts. And what can we do about that? Maybe we just lose. That's entirely possible. I have played a few test practice games as Mexico leading to that. I've got a little bit of a feel for some of the vibe. Of course, the combat mechanics keep being rebalanced, so it'll be interesting to see if we can figure it out at that point and what we can do politically and diplomatically, what kind of alliances we might be able to get to cover that. But for now, we're going to jump in and just try to get an economy going. Very early game. I mean, it's not like we're going to start in a war immediately. Oh, right. We do actually start in a war immediately. Texas! So Texas v Mexico is kicking off over here. We should be able to auto-win this. Currently, we've got 7 troops on the front line. They've got 4. We can actually get another battalion, or another army with 3 battalions thrown to the front line. Whether or not that's needed, I don't think it is. I have read that there might be an event. I don't know if it's this guy, Antonio Lopez of Santa Ana. I think there might be an event where he, like, just randomly instantly gets captured, because maybe that was historically what happened, and that can cause the war to end in just a white piece. None of my tests has that happen, so I'm waiting for, of course, that to happen on video, which would be awful. But assuming everything goes okay, currently our general here is set to advance with his 5-1-1 army. We'll talk about some of the army balances and stuff later on. But theoretically, we should win this war, and we should take Texas. Right? Specifically, yeah, we're looking for the independent state of Texas to return itself to Mexico. That's what we're going to be looking for. So there's that. Let's take a look at the rest of our, let's say, political situation first. So we'll open up our politics screen and see what our deal is. We've got this junta government. It's dictatorial. Currently, our leader is General Miguel Barragan, which I'm not going to pronounce correctly, but, you know, that's just the way it is. We are reserved. We are wounded. We are a political operator. And we are interested, we got family ties over here from landowners, veteran consultation from armed forces, groovy. Our government composition currently is landowners and armed forces. Landowners, of course, are the most probably resistant to useful changes in government early on. The religious interest group actually tends to have some helpful things in the early game and then becomes more of an issue in the late game. But yeah, right now that's tough. Armed forces will likely have some helpful things, actually. Although, as we'll find out soon, Mexico's got a funny thing when it comes to the armed forces and the government. But we're relatively legitimate. We could get a more legitimate government over here, but I might not, if I do this, I wouldn't create any radicals or anything. Brings in the Catholic, actually, should I do that? I don't think I've done this in any of my little practice games. I think I might. It's not a free reform, but it's not generating radicals or loyalists. So, all right, let's do that. Now, let's take a look at the laws we've currently got running. We do have a presidential republic going on, which sounds kind of okay, but the big thing is the distribution of power is currently set to oligarchy, and a state shares powers and responsibilities, small group of powerful, unelected individuals. We could start pushing for landed voting immediately, so we can start to change the political landscape as early as possible. Currently starts off at a 21% chance to progress. No one gets, what's the word? Radicalized? Is that what the term in the game is for when they get when an interest group gets super upset with us? The industrialists oppose it, but not enough to cause any real issues. So we might go and run that. Juan Alvarez of the rural folk support it. I mean, the armed forces who are in government support it. That's probably a good idea. What else could we do? Appointed bureaucrats we can't change. We do have a professional army right away, which is nice. No home affairs. I don't think I'm going to change that. We can't change our economic system away from agrarianism currently, although that's probably something we're going to look for. Trade policy, again, going to free trade is often quite nice. We do have land-based taxation. We would like to go to per capita, which right now doesn't represent a tremendous change in our income, but is going to overall be worth a lot more, and we can push it now. The trade unions become radicalized, but they are marginalized, so it doesn't matter. And the landowners oppose that. What's the most important thing for us? I actually might push for the per capita taxation first. Yeah. We got tenant farmers. We could revert to serfdom, but we're not going to do that. If we could push up a little bit more towards maybe homesteading, I think that would be very appropriate for us. No police currently running. Oh, we are running frontier colonization, which is the new colonization law that was released in 1.5. It works a lot like colonial resettlement, but it only allows things that border you. So we can't use frontier colonization to go and colonize Africa, for example. But that's going to be fine for us at this point. We would like to enact schools, but we probably will be able to push through this, especially with the Catholic Church interest group in our government. We'll probably be able to run religious schools later. Obviously, private and public schools would be stronger in the long term, but this gets us started. And that's the thing. Early game, the religious interest group tends to be pretty helpful. Can also enact our charity hospitals here, so that helps a lot. No human rights advances available to us in any way whatsoever. Hopefully that's something we can work on at some point. But yeah, that's going to be a little bit more of a long-term thing. Institution-wise, we do have colonial affairs because we do have colonization laws. Currently level 1. Right away, what I'm going to do is push this up to level 2. So it's going to cost us another 68 bureaucracy. We don't have a lot to spare, but I think if we can increase the colonization rate, that is going to be quite valuable. And then, yeah, law changes. I think I will go to per capita taxation immediately and hope we can progress that. So that has started to push. Of course, the law system is different from the last time we did a Let's Play for this. They've got multiple steps. And overall, I feel like this is better and feels a little less random. 21% success chance would, I think, feel terrible in the old system. Here, I think it feels a little bit better. Like, it feels like, okay, it's going to take a while, but it'll probably pass unless we get, you know, a revolution. Technology. So, as per usual, we're not going to prioritize the military early on. But again, at some point, when the US of A is going to go manifest destiny, and at some point they're going to declare a war against us for their claims, which is going to include Texas. I can't remember what all their claims are for, but I mean, it's going to be, I guess Comanche State. Actually, I don't remember where the borders go. I mean, Texas, California, Nevada, Utah is definitely going to be part of it. Colorado, I mean, must be. I mean, it creates the modern border that we're used to today. So, I guess we're working on probably Arizona and New Mexico as well. I mean, the state is just called State in Comanche, but this must get renamed later on, right? It must get a rename. It must be what's going on. Anyway, so they got to declare war for us on all that. In my test games, it tended to happen in 1859. I think one time it did come out in 1858. It may have been 1860 one time at the latest, but right around then. So we're going to want to build up our troops at that point. Now, we don't necessarily have to match the American military size. By the time they declare war on us, it's probably going to be like 100 battalions and a couple hundred conscripts. On a purely defensive stance, we can hold the line with maybe half that much, but we are going to need a decent number and maybe an ally to help us out. Anyway, I'm not going to focus on military technology right now. That's going to be fine. In society, I also don't think we're going to grab anything here immediately. So we are going to look at production. And in particular, one of the things we're going to need in the not too distant future, we're certainly going to want railways. So we could think about things that lead that way. Lathe, pretty good technology for us, leads into mechanical tools. Sorry, I kept thinking it was going to be mechanized. I was stammering on that. And then if we pick up atmospheric engine as well, we unlock the railways, and that's going to be great. I'm also a big fan of intensive agriculture early on. I feel like it really, really helps out a lot of the industry we're going to have in the early game with farming. So depending on how much farming we have, we could do that. I think I will start with the lathe, especially since it's a tier 1 tech, so it's only going to take 32 months to research. Intensive agriculture would take 4 years. So we can get the lathe in about half-ish the time, depending on rounding. I don't know if that's exactly 4 years or not. So anyway, about half the time we can get the lathe. And I think it's probably a fine place to start. So we got our tech sorted out. We've got our politics sorted out. Let's take a look at the budget. Unlike playing as Canada, we don't start with the consumption tax on grain, which is great. We may as well throw some consumption taxes on here, mostly for like the sin products. So with just 100 authority, we can get a great tax on tobacco. That's going to be fine. Let's do liquor as well. Let's do wine. Maybe porcelain, just sort of tax the rich. And how about luxury clothes over here? Those are pretty good bangs for a buck. I mean, our budget situation is actually really, really good right now. But we're going to go and turn around and spend it fairly quickly. Actually, I might... Oh, no, I still have over 100 authority. That's great. Because I'm almost certainly going to want to run an... Is it called the edicts in this game? In the state of Mexico over here, our capital state, we're going to want to run the road maintenance... I don't really have a word. I'm going to call this an edict. I'm going to want to run this in Mexico for more state construction efficiency. Because one of the things is, in Mexico, and in fact, in a lot of our states, we've got the Sierra Madre Oriental. There's another modifier in some of our states that also gives a 10% debuff to construction efficiency. That's not the Sierra Madre. Mexican construction is going to be a little bit challenging. Anyway, we can counter that with our road maintenance network over here. Mexico is our most populous state. Let's go ahead and show that. I'm going to hide the formation on the outliner. I really like to have the interest groups and my states available on the outline over here. A lot of times I do collapse this, but we can see at a glance the population. So Mexico's got 1.8 million people in that state and the most available workers as well. So that's going to be a good candidate for doing most of our construction. A lot of our industrialization is going to happen there. We'll probably want to spread out a few different things in other states because of the way now there's a local price for goods. So we might want to, if we can put like 1 or 2 grain farms in kind of every state, that will help with food prices. If we can put a clothing producer, a furniture producer, like those being spread out, those buildings would be less efficient than if they were getting the multiplier from having multiple copies of the same building in the state, but it would help to keep the local prices down in a lot of these places, which overall should help with our our standard of living. To say sphere of living. Like, hold on. Sphering's not the word I'm looking for here. Anyway, we may as well start construction. So currently, we've got 12 construction output over here. We've got a single built construction sector, and we are currently operating on the basic wooden buildings option here. We have tons of cash flowing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to iron frame buildings, even though we're going to end up with some shortages pretty crazy. You can see the price of iron is going to skyrocket immediately. That makes a lot of sense. We're going to go ahead and eat these very expensive costs, and we may do a few imports as well. I'm going to go and immediately expand our construction sector. I'm going to build 4 more in the state of Mexico itself to get us started. And then after that, almost certainly what I'm probably going to do is just monitor the price of tools, fabric, wood, and iron. And in particular, it's going to be iron, wood, and tools, fabric to a lesser extent. And we'll probably use this as a guide for what we're going to build first to sort of bootstrap our manufacturing economy. Because those costs are going to go up like crazy. We'll keep an eye on some of this. Already grain is kind of expensive here, which is unfortunate. Hang on, paper. One thing we're going to want to do is we're going to try... Oh, we should get some diplomacy going on. France and Great Britain. We're going to improve relations with both of you. And I don't know if it's going to help, but I'm going to improve relations with the United States. At some point when they go manifest destiny, I think our relationship will crash. But I'm going to try to delay anything that might come out of them for as long as possible by doing this. Whereas we're looking for France or Great Britain as maybe some sort of alliance that might be able to save us later. And we're going to focus on trading with these two whenever the option comes up, because we actually would not be opposed to joining customs union. When the last time we did a Let's Play, which was as the Sikh Empire over here, I was explicitly trying to not join a trade union just because I wanted to experience that. I wanted to see what it was like. But I think we would be much better off here as Mexico joining one of them. And I don't really kind of care who. One of the nice things, if we do join one of these, we can probably suck a ton of population out of there as new colonists to boost our population as well. So I think there's lots of reasons why we're going to want to do that. Right, so trade-wise, yes. So like paper, we got a bit of a shortage. So if I import, we can see we can import from the French market. We'll take a little bit of a penalty here, but well, I guess for paper doesn't really matter too much. That's mostly saving myself money for my government buildings. So maybe that doesn't matter as much. But grain, if we were importing grain at a loss, and apparently we're not importing at a loss, is going to be good for our people. So let's import a bunch of grain from the British market over here. We're going to get 135 units currently on our one trade route. That seems great. So we're going to do that. We don't have a ton of bureaucracy to spare. Remember, we just boosted our institution. So it is going to become... Oh, wait, we're starting the game with trade routes. I hadn't realized that. What we might do is wait for the fighting to stop, and then we'll cancel the trade out for the artillery and small arms. We're exporting iron. I'm going to remove that. Okay, I will wait for the war to end, and we'll cancel some of these, and then I'll start some new trade routes. I don't want to go negative in bureaucracy here. And again, this number will shrink as our institution starts to kick in. Is there anything else I want to do before we get started? We can take a look overall at the culture setup. 98% of population is Mexican. And then we've got microscopic minorities for a variety of other things. So right now that's not going to be relevant, but we are going to get waves of immigration. So that's going to change things up. Oh, our citizenship is cultural exclusion, which is not as bad as it could be. This is actually shockingly progressive for 1836 here. I mean, we're one step away from multiculturalism. This is as nice as we can literally get with our laws right now. So it could be worse. We do, however, have a state religion. We are, hardcore Catholics over here, and with no chance of making a change there at this time. Maybe that's something we can do. Population look at, I mean, there's not much we can really do to tweak things right now. The situation is what the situation is. Things are struggling. Our lower strata is in particularly bad shape, but hopefully we can fix that soon. No decisions of note to look at over here, and nothing happening in the journal. Oh, also, if we look at cultures and nation forming, currently there's nothing in there, and nothing in the companies. Okay, I think we can probably go ahead and actually officially unpause. Columbia District improving relations with us. Well, isn't that peachy? So yeah, we're going to push over here. Should go fine. You can see the prices are getting very high, And they're going to get worse. We're probably going to get like an iron shortage triggering relatively soon here, especially as we build these extra construction sectors, but that's going to be okay. And if we hadn't set our road maintenance edict over here, these numbers would be red because we'd actually be getting a malus to our construction efficiency. We have efficient bureaucracy. Is efficient bureaucracy, is that a bonus we get from having like excess taxation capacity? Oh, do we... Can I mouse over that? No. I don't know what that's coming from. Oh, okay. It's from having positive bureaucracy here, not taxation capacity. But yeah, there we go. Next to 2.4%. Apparently we're going to get pushed back there. Okay, you know what? I'm going to send in another army group. I don't know how much they'll assist each other, but watch me not win this war against Texas. In which case, we might get a cut now to an exact copy of the game where this is going okay, because I don't want to start things off by losing Texas. That would be crazy. Okay, I said there's a kind of an interesting thing in Mexico with having the armed forces in the government, and this is it. We've got the age of Caudillos. Following Mexican independence from Spain, a power vacuum was left in place of the colonial government, which was quickly filled by charismatic armed forces leaders. These Caudillos have come to define much of South American politics, although we are not in South America? But, I mean, maybe they're talking about in a larger sense. Anyway, or maybe they actually mean like Latin America. I don't know. So might makes right. So we get a special age of Caudillos in the journal entry, which is going to be tracked over here. So we get a bar. It doesn't explicitly tell me here what increases or lowers the bar. I know that there's at least one event that does change that. I assume the bar goes up and down on its own based on if the armed forces are in our government, even though it's not explicitly said here. Currently, the armed forces are in the government, which I assume is helping to fill the bar. And then if the bar gets full, we get this fail event over here. This triggers the fist clenches. We get the Age of Caudillos permanently, which is forever and always going to be the armed forces incredibly strong politically and attract forces. And you know, it's not necessarily bad, I guess, but probably not what we want, so that, you know, to have maximum flexibility in our government. And then if we complete it, so if the armed forces are not in the government, and presumably this will shrink the bar over time, at some point it will complete, which causes us to lose the Age of Caudillos, and the armed forces will lose their Caudillismo idea here, which is what they're running. So right now, right now we do have this, which the armed forces have extra pops and are more powerful, and they specifically believe in this, and you can see it opposes some things that we're probably going to want later on. So I'm going to suggest that we're going to want to get the armed forces out of the government at some point. We'll leave them in there for now, but that's probably going to be part of our plan. All right, let's go back to unpausing. Let's speed up the game a little bit as well. So I think this is still the same battle we saw. So unfortunately, we do lose one. We're about some more strength to the front. France is bankrolling us. Okay, I mean, we have all the money we ever need. Oh, we did go over on influence somehow. Did something change? So why did it let me spend? Maybe it always lets you spend it and go negative. But now we can't start another improved relations. That's okay. Being negative prestige isn't going to hurt us too badly. Okay, we're pushing back. Or another battle here, which is going fine. Okay. We should win this perfectly fine. In all my tests, everything's gone fine. Oh, apparently we only need to win one, and then we're fully occupying Texas. All right, so now we just have to wait for them to get tired of fighting the war, and then we will have that won. Okay. Can we go up to speed 5? Maybe. Temporary embarrassment. Oh, enactment success chance. Oh, we're going to do this. So we're going to cut income tax rates for 2 years to increase the chance of success. Yeah. Let's do that. Especially since it had already dropped here. I'm hoping we don't have too much of a problem. I could temporarily drop our taxes. I mean, I don't know if that's really going to be that helpful for us right now. I guess I could cancel some consumption taxes, but we might sit on this positive for a while. We did go ahead and build our first extra construction sector. So these are going to go faster and faster, and we do have an iron input goods shortage. Now, with the input goods shortage, does it actually slow down our construction? I don't know. Can I import iron? From America, I mean, they're all 22. French, Russian, British. Okay, we're good on bureaucracy. I'm going to import from America and the Brits. And I know there's a loss here, but I'm going to go ahead and import that way as well. We might not be able to eliminate this iron shortage Depends on how well the shipments actually come in. Yeah, because we have a 60 unit deficit. Still, this ought to help. Now, obviously, building more construction sectors isn't going to be that helpful, but I'm going to do with that. And then, in fact, before I build the first iron mine, we... Oh! I was going to say, we are going to want to build a gold mine in Bahio, but apparently the capitalists have taken care of that for us. How convenient. All right. Don't hate that. All right, let's go to speed 5 for a sec. I'm going to want to slow it down, but right now, waiting for construction. We're waiting for the war to end, which should happen fairly soon. There we go. Capitulation. Bring it down a notch. So our army stood down. Death and taxes. Oh. That's interesting. That was our general lead in the war. He just died. But after the war ended, so that was good. We'll mourn the loss of the great leader and increase our success chance. Does increase the enactment time, but that's gonna have to be okay. Low organization. I mean, if they lost their generals and stuff, that's gonna be part of it. And yeah, our material prices keep getting expensive, but right now we're still sitting on a ton of cash. Oh, there was a port in Texas queued. And probably let that finish. That's fairly well progressed here. But then after that, yeah, we're gonna start doing some construction. Let's focus specifically on the state of Mexico and what can we do. They do have iron mines. They do have logging camps. So most likely what we'll do is maybe at least start with one of each. And that will help fund the construction in its own state. Do I want to slow down the port? You know what? I think I will. I'll leave it in the queue, but I don't think we'll prioritize it the same way. We'll do this. Right now, we're still capped, stockpiling gold, which is bad. I mean, I guess I can lower taxes for a little bit. Wow, we're still running a positive. That's crazy sauce. The centers break ranks. Oh my god, we're getting all kinds of bad events. Okay, we'll go with this. We'll offer custodianship over new draft. It will give us one setback, but it will raise the success chance again. It'll be really frustrating if I don't manage to pass this law to start off with. Oh yeah, we got message setting options now, which we might tune as we go. I haven't messed with it though. I don't know exactly what I want to do to tweak our message settings. All right, one more construction center. Now we're finally running a deficit. And then it's gone up like crazy here. Okay, now we have the official iron goods shortage. It's fluctuating a little bit. Bring up the taxes in a second, but not quite yet. Iron mine is starting. Most likely one won't be enough. It might get rid of the hardcore input goods shortage, but it won't like fix these costs, which have all skyrocketed like crazy. But I think I'm still okay with it because we have tons of money to spend. Okay, let's set the budget back to the middle. People of California tell the story of highwaymen who robs from rich and gives to the poor. We can hunt them down, which has a chance of increasing enactment chance, but has a big chance of failing it. Or we could attempt to relieve poverty, which is also going to lower the enactment chance. Increase tax waste in California, which doesn't matter because California doesn't have that much going on right now anyway. I guess this only has a 1/3 chance of getting worse than this. Maybe I should just roll this. Oh, we got the -20. God. Of course we did. Of course we did. All right, colonization is going on over there. Man, I can't believe how hard of a time I'm having passing this law. This has got to be worse than every single one of my test runs. Very disappointing. Okay, we're going to queue up some more iron mines in Mexico. In fact, there's a chance we're just going to max it out, but we'll just put in a couple at a time here. Just kind of want to get rid of the input goods shortage. We don't have any modes available, right? No. Okay. Backroom dealings. Yeah. Well, we don't want to lower our success chance anymore, so we'll go with this. I wish it increased our success chance. We got another setback. This might just fail. What a terrible start to the game. Wow! That hurts. I don't think there's anything I can do to make this more likely to succeed. Could I get the petit bourgeoisie or the rural folk in my government? Well, I could get the petit bourgeoisie. Who else endorses this law change? It might not be enough time for it anyway. Right, the armed forces. Keep the armed forces in. Bring in the industrialists. I thought they were opposing it before, too. Okay. Lathe is unlocked. Yeah, nitroglycerin for all our mines is going to be really nice. Mechanical tools, atmospheric engine. I think I'm going to go for intensive agriculture now. So we can get our dye workshops. Machine manufacturing. It's going to consume more tools. Okay, our tooling workshop can go to wrought iron tools, although there's shortage of iron. Yeah, we really do have to fix the iron part first. Logging camps operating in a couple modes. Do we even need hardwood right now? Yeah, hardwood's not worth anything currently. So we'll just cancel the hardwood mode. Probably just keep building this. Oh, one building affected. Can we just import a little bit of this? Although that's going to eat into my bureaucracy. Maybe I will just go and put one building back. All right, fine. In Rio Grande, you can do a little hardwood production, just to make sure that's okay. Oh my god. Well, I don't want to lower success chance. What a horrible time we're having with this law. Okay, we no longer have the explicit iron shortage. Price is still high. You know, we might... Oh, were you having problems filling up your employees? No, you're okay. Although we got a shortage of tools. Oh. Why are you inactive? I don't know, war. Okay, let me cancel these. We can go and recreate them after, but we're just going to free up... Oh, and I said I was going to drop the artillery and small arms input for now. Keep the clippers. We'll drop the man-o-wars. I don't really care about a shortage of those. I don't usually do it this way. Bring in some tools from the American market. Maybe a few from the Russian market, although that's not going to actually solve our shortage at all. Okay, construction queue is done. Yeah, okay, we need tooling workshops now. Build a couple in Mexico. And actually, hang on. Now that we don't have an actual... Okay, that is going to short, but let's do this with the wrought iron tools, which will increase our tooling production, which might help to alleviate the shortage of tools in the iron mines. There you go. It is, which might be improving their throughput a little bit, which is then going to feed back into the tools. Okay, we get ourselves a positive feedback loop of productivity. Well, we're able to just barely work on the second one, depending on how much is going to the secondary workshop. Oh, they are working on tooling workshops in Baja California over here, which isn't necessarily the sweet spot, but we'll go for it. We did balance out taxes, yes. 22. Come on, get a positive tick. Oh my god. All right. Oh, we are in the... No. No, we are in the amendment phase. Okay, we did progress forward, but barely. Okay, America versus the Great Sioux Nation. We'll have a few of those as well, as tensions rise with our colonial stuff. Actually, let's say, if we can start another colony, and we can. Gold discovered in Oaxaca. I mean, the X's, depending on where they are, sometimes there's sort of an ish or sh sound. But I think Oaxaca, like the cheese, right? Market access in Nevada, yeah. I mean, that's going to be an issue for you. We're trying to bootstrap this economy. Okay, tooling workshop in Mexico. Iron prices remain high. The tool pricing has gone down. So I think the next thing, I'm going to go back to Mexico City, and I think I might just go and finish all these iron mines. I mean, there, it goes to 0. All right. What a huge fail. I've never had that happen at the start of these test runs. All right, let's flip it around and try to go for landed voting, although it's got a lower percentage. All right, religious schools. Use some education. We gotta try to pass something. Oh, that is tragically bad. I guess we finished improve relations with France. Let's improve relations with Russia, because there's a good chance they're going to be another trading partner. And we'll see what we can do. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Go iron mines. Yeah, see, tools are reasonably priced all of a sudden. These guys should be pretty profitable, so wages should be fairly high, so hiring should work out fairly well here. I haven't looked at the actual numbers of, like, shortages. It's probably going to be up here. Short 161 right now. How much do we get out of a single iron mine? I guess we look... Because this is telling us the output for each one. So that's at 6, so about 20, although is it fully hired? It is. And then we get extra modifiers. Okay, not easy to tell. Oh, picks and shovels. There we go. 20 each. Yep. So it's not going to eliminate the shortfall completely. Ah, assisting professors. Enactment success chance. Big boost at 20%. University throughput. I don't think we care about right now. Oh, is this going to advance it to amendment immediately? That's probably worth more? I don't know. We still have to get through the other two phases. Maybe we should just go for the plus 20 early on, rather than advance to amendment instantly. Iron's still ridiculously expensive, but that's okay. Assuming two will stay okay, and I think they should be. I think what we'll want to do is slap down a couple extra logging camps in Mexico. And the nice thing is, like, so we keep looking at the price of iron overall. Actually, I guess this is the market and the local price. Local price for iron is actually higher than the market price, probably because it's getting consumed pretty aggressively in the state. But the idea is we're going to have the whole vertical integration here in Mexico, where all the goods required to build tools are going to be here, and then tooling workshops are going to be here, so they'll get better prices. Catholic Church wishes to strengthen their ties to Guatemala. Improvement, interest group, Mexican first, Catholic second, intelligentsia goes up. And we do get approval regardless. Okay. Catholic Church, we could go to a 10, which gets us be fruitful and multiply. All right, let's do that. Right, a 10, there you go. Be fruitful and multiply, increasing our birth rate. That's going to be nice early on. We do actually want clippers for things, although that's barely anything. Oh, wow. Okay, religious schools passed easily. We've unlocked banking, which is nice. I assume I can't do the tax lots because it's been too soon. Maybe we'll get some good rolls and we can push through landed voting. Although I didn't check to see if anyone's going to become radicalized at this point. Because once you start passing laws, people start to get more and more modifiers. Actually, everyone kind of likes me, which is weird and unexpected, but sure, we'll take it. All right. Turn on general training for our barracks here. Let's do filing cabinet. That's going to change the price of paper pretty dramatically. Import paper from the French market. Okay, get rid of the shortfall completely. Good. So lots of bureaucracy because we had gone negative for a bit. Sins of the past. Proponents landed voting reform has called attention passive uses. Current regimen. 20% success chance. Power corrupts, but a bunch of people lose popularity. Or just 10. No, we'll go for the full 20 here. Okay. All right, money dipping pretty dramatically, but of course a lot of this is that our construction costs are very high. Iron's no longer gold coins now, which is good. We're building logging camps to bring down the price of wood. Fabric just dropped a little bit. What is shortage of small arms? That's gonna have to be okay. I think I'm going to queue up. You know what? We'll just go ahead and finish all the logging camps in the state of Mexico. They're going to get put to very, very good use. Now, the tools are no longer completely short on things. We don't currently produce any lead, so I don't think we're going to leaded glass. I don't have coal for gas streetlights. We could go to market stalls here. Although the price of services isn't that crazy right now, so I guess I will wait. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think citrus orchards are going to be called for, because grain is actually kind of pricey, and we're not currently using fruits and sugars. Although, I guess if we get a food industry and we get stills set up, that would be something. It's going to crash the price of meat. Right, the one logging camp in hardwood mode. We don't have the clippers currently. Okay. I think I'm still feeling all right. What's our timer at? 40 minutes? You know what? This is going to be a great time for us to put in a cut. So, I mean, we did pass a law. We've got a little bit of education going on, which is going to be helpful, although it is going to increase the strength of the Catholic Church, which is something we're going to have to deal with later on. Hopefully we can pass a voting reform law and then maybe try to take a stab at the taxes again. It's actually very disappointing that failed. That's gonna hurt us a lot if we can't enact a better tax law relatively soon. Because as our economy grows, the difference in the income between those two taxes is going to be huge. Per capita tax, yeah, I think when we moused over this at the start of the game, it was like plus 2K, now it's plus 6K. And the difference is just going to continue to grow. I mean, there's fluctuation, and maybe if we checked like 6 months into the start, it would have been a different number than the literal start, but... colonization is going okay. We haven't been told that the United States have claims everywhere yet, so they haven't manifested their destiny quite yet, which is good. We do definitely have some shortages in a few places, but I think we're doing the right thing to try to bootstrap our economy. We've got, negative balance right now, but again, lots of construction going on, and generally we're okay with that. We're fine with running a deficit to fund more construction and boost the economy, as long as we can balance it from time to time. Fabric, the fact that this is expensive is interesting. There's two ways we can boost it. We've got livestock ranches and cotton plantations. Any chance... No, we can't build a cotton plantation in the state of Mexico, and I don't think... Oh, we can do livestock. Now, the livestock will produce meat and fabric, and we actually know that the meat prices aren't very high right now. So maybe we should plan on building a cotton plantation somewhere else. Interestingly enough, yeah, so the places where we can grow cotton don't have a lot of job seekers. Now, job seekers is a new value here. So it's anyone kind of looking for new jobs. Some of these people might already be employed, I think. It doesn't say here. Yeah, job seekers working it out with negative job satisfaction. So this might include people who are already employed somewhere else, but aren't happy about it. Unemployed are people who literally don't have a job currently, and peasants are people who are working on the subsistence farms and might be happy to promote. But you can see, like, if you look at Rio Grande, right? 0 plus 36K does not equal 52K. So whether or not job seekers is the right value for you to look at might be a bit of a question mark. But in any case, I feel like Rio Grande would be a decent place for us to go ahead and build a cotton farm. So we're going to do... We'll do the one. I don't know if we're going to need a ton, but we'll do the one. And I'll move it up. We'll do these 2 logging camps, then this cotton plantation, then we'll go back to logging camps over here. And then we'll see what that shakes out number-wise. But that'll have to be next time. Folks, I hope you're excited about this Let's Play like I am. I'm really hyped for it. Of course, hitting a like and dropping a comment does a big thing for the YubTub algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And again, it just keeps helping the channel out. Much appreciated. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.